you are planning to do this, shopping and buying cars on Copart, but you're not 100% sure on what to do or how to go about it, you've never used Copart before, or you've heard of Copart and you want to get to know a bit more about Copart, then this is the video for you. Now, if you're familiar with Copart, then you might want to skip this video because this is more geared towards the more novice user or a newbie to Copart. I've had a lot of comments in my comment section from my viewers wanting to know a bit more about Copart and how it works and how to go about navigating Copart. So that's why I'm doing this video. Right, guys, let's get into it. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. A brand new video that's a little bit different. I know I've been putting out a lot of car content recently. I hope you guys are enjoying the last video that I put out, and if you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. That's an amazing car for an amazing build. But anyway, let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is, so as you may or may not know, I get the majority of my cars from Copart here in the UK, and I just shop according to the car that I see, if I like it, if I think it will make me money, or if I want it for myself or a client wants it from that specific yard. I tend to go to the closest yards first to my address, so I save a bit of money on deliveries. So that's the first thing to think about. If you're going to shop on Copart, have a look at all the different locations. There's a tab on there that will give you all the locations and the addresses. Make sure you find one that is close to your address, because you can incur a lot of fees on the delivery side of things. So that's the first tip that I will give. Tip number 2, guys, always research your cars. Take your time, make sure that you've given yourself at least 2 to 3 days before the auction. Look for the car that you want to bid on, and like I said, give yourself 2 to 3 days, add it to your watch list, and take your time and research your car. What I always do is, if you're a registered member of Copart, you can get a copy of the registration number, and you can put the registration number into one of these MOT checkers online. If you Google MOT checker, you just put in the reg and it will give you a full breakdown of all the car's MOTs. You can get a rough idea as to how the car has been kind of looked after over the past years. Sorry. So that's just one of the basic things I do. You can also get the registration number and do a HPI check, because a lot of the times what you'll notice is it might have been a double category. And if you're thinking of selling the car on, and you're selling a car that's got 2 written off markers on its history, it's going to be a lot more difficult than trying to sell a car that's only got the 1. So that's something that you should do. I remember many a times in the past I've just jumped onto Copart and I felt, oh, I like that, bid, and I ended up getting stung a lot of the times. You really need to take your time and do your own research. Copart is a massive company and they've covered themselves quite well in the small print. If you get a car from them and you bid on the car, you win it, you take it away from their kind of yard. If there's anything wrong with that car, it's very difficult for you to try to get your money back. It's very difficult for you to try to claim that it was Copart at fault. Always take the time to research your car, and if you can, try to go down and have a look at the car. Just make sure that you are happy with what you're bidding before you bid, because it's a lot more difficult to kind of disprove anything after the fact. So that brings me on to tip number 3. So guys, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers by Christmas. Please, I know we can do it. Help me to push my channel and make better content for you guys. Tip number 3 is, if it seems too good to be true, then generally on Copart it is. So when I say that, I mean look out for these sort of things. So Copart is a company that sells damaged cars. If you see a car on Copart with no body damage, and a lot of the times these kind of cars that I'm talking about may be a Cat U, but it seems like it's all good and everything's fine, it's always more time than not there's a problem there that is being hidden or has been hidden in the past. I always ask myself, why are you selling a car with no damage on a website that specializes in selling damaged cars, and not selling it on Auto Trader, Gumtree, eBay? Why are you not selling it direct? Why are you going through the auction route? There's other auction places that you can sell. I bought a BMW 2009 BMW 116i. It was an M Sport. It had levers. It looked great. It was a category U. It had some really, really superficial damage. I got the car and one of the pistons was bent, which shot a hole straight through the block. So it was running on 3 cylinders when I got it. They said, Copart said that the key was missing. There was no key. It was a category U, but it was also minimal damage, front end minimal damage. I thought, happy days. I'll change my front bumper. I'll get a new key. Off you go. Didn't work out like that. I made a massive loss. To buy an engine was at least over £1,500. That on top of what I've paid for it, on top of then repairing the bodywork, it wouldn't have been economical for me to go ahead with that build. I ended up selling that car at a loss on eBay as is. So always, guys, if it's too good to be true, trust your gut. If you feel like, just ask yourself, why is it on Copart? Copart specializes in selling damaged cars. Now, a good indicator, I tend not to shop for cars that are being sold on a private basis. And a good indicator for this is if you can get a real close-up picture or zoom in on the pictures at the front of the car, you're going to see a white little sticker on the windshield. Now, you'll see a bunch of numbers, that's the lot number, but at the very end of that number, you'll see an X, which is for an insurance sale, or you see a P, which is for a personal sale. If you see a P, run for the hills. Not really, but if you see a P, just be a bit more cautious as to what you're getting. Make some inquiries, and as I said in the previous tip, if you've got time and if you've got the means to, run down to Copart, have a look. For the rest of the tips, guys, we'll switch on to Copart, and I want to show you a few things, how I go about searching for my cars. So let's get into that. So the first thing I want to show you guys is once you've gone on to www.copart.co.uk, and I'm assuming that you've registered and you've got your account and you've logged into your account, you want to look for cars. You can go over here to the vehicle finder right there, and you can type in, let's say I'm looking for a VW Golf. You can click the vehicle finder comes up right there. Go to make, go down to VW, and you can see, go to VW and go to Golf, hit search. Now if you're looking for a car that you can make a bit of money on, this is a first tip. Go to the search bar at the top and type in V5 on file. Now when you type in V5 on file and click search, I've found 1,373 lots. So these are all lots that have got the logbook coming with the car. All of these cars, because of that search, V5 on file, all of these lots have got the car's logbook. Now the reason you need the logbook is if you're going to sell the car on, you need the logbook. Most cars, especially category S's, most cars from Copart, they do not come with the logbook. And if you haven't got the logbook, it can take up to 6 weeks to apply for a new logbook from the DVLA. That means if you're looking to sell this car on and you do a quick repair on it, you're holding it for up to 6 weeks. So that's the fourth tip. Try searching for V5 on file, and then you can get lots of different cars within there. Next tip, how about if you're looking for a specific type of car? For this example, I'll say I'm looking for Audi A1. So what I'm going to go to my finder, go to the vehicle finder, you come down here, you go search. So Audi, and the model, I'm looking for Audi A1. You click search. Now all these Audi A1s, there's so many different ones. You got category S, category N, category S, you got category S, category Ns, category Bs, all sorts. What I want you to focus on is, once you've decided on the year, the make, the model that you're looking for, and once you've chosen kind of like the appropriate location for where you are, I want you to pay attention to the sale date, because like I said, you want to give yourself 2 to 3 days before you bid. But I also want you to focus on the category. Now, category S means structural damage. Category N means non-structural damage. Now, category N cars tend to go for more because they're normally superficial damage. Like a door's got a big old dent, or a wing panel's got a big old dent, headlight's broken, front bumper's broken, that sort of stuff. Quick repairs that you can pull off and pull back on. Category S is, on the other hand, it means that the structure of the car has been damaged. So you might have a bent subframe, you might have a bent chassis leg, you might have a rear panel of the car that's pushed in. Now with category S's, and if you've got a car with where the panels, the actual panels, the rear panel of the car is pushed in, it's going to cost a little bit more, because then that means that that whole panel needs to be body worked. So just bear that in mind. I would suggest sticking to category ins for now, because you'll get some nice ones. So at the side you go category and you can filter them out. So category B's are for breakers. You need a special license. Those are for car parts only, so those cars can only be stripped down for parts. Cat U's, they're unrecorded. You can get some good deals on them, but like I said, a lot of the Cat U's in here are from private people, and they're often hiding like a dodgy gearbox, dodgy engine, stuff like that. So I normally click Cat in to filter them out, because I only like kind of like quick repairs. So as soon as you hit Cat in, you can see it's brought it all the way down, and now it's filtered it down to 4 cars. Now as you can see, I've got this car in my watch list. I knew that I was going to be doing this video, so I had already done my research, but I thought that this car was such a good car, and I'll walk you through why I think this is a good buy. So the first thing you want to do is check the estimated retail value. That gives you a rough idea as to kind of like the profit margins on the car, and it gives you a rough idea of how much you should go up to when you're bidding. So another reason why I think that this car is a good buy is the interior. If you have a look at the interior, it looks in good condition, and the airbags haven't gone off. So that means that you don't have to worry about faffing around with changing dashboards and, you know, getting your airbags programmed and clearing fault code and what's not in terms of the airbag side of things, because that can be an arm and a leg, and you can run up cost. Moving on, engine looks in good condition. I know you can't really tell the condition of the engine from the pictures, but I still like to review the pictures in the engine, see if anything looks amiss. Now, one of the main things is the mileage. You want to see the mileage. You want to double check that the mileage is good, and if you're happy with the mileage. But one of the good things about when Copart shows the mileage, more often than not, they'll show the car running. So once they show the car running, you can, if you look here on the rev meter, you'll see that the gauge is just above 1, and that shows that the engine is running and it's idling just above 1. So that tells me immediately that my engine started, and once the engine's running, I have a look to see if there's any error lights that are on. And at this car, you can see it's just the park brake that's on and the seatbelt is off. So clearly someone sat in the driver's seat not wearing the seatbelt, and the emergency park brake is on. That tells me that the engine seems to be running great. Like I said, you can never be 100% sure, but these are just little cues to look for in these pictures that Copart provides. Like I said, have a look at the damage. That's the wing panel that I told you, that can be removed. I can see here that the bumper brackets are broken, so I may or may not have to replace the bumper, and I know I need to replace the light, but that damage looks pretty okay to me. So review your damage and review your damage and review your damage. You can never review your damage too much. If you've got an account with Copart, you could take your registration number, copy and paste it, and what I like to do is I like to go to Google, type in MOT checker, check the MOT history of a vehicle. It's a government backed website, so I know that it's all legit. Click start, copy paste the information that I've just copied from Copart, and click continue. So Audi A1, it's grey, it's petrol, it's got MOT at the moment until the 4th of March, but you'll need to renew that after you've repaired the car. But this is the important bit, guys. You go down to MOT history and you can see, so the last MOT of this car was in March 2020. It has passed, that's the mileage, 74,000. If you go back to the mileage now, at the moment, it's 79,000. So since March, the person's put on quite a lot of mileage. So that, once again, that tells me that this car has been driven quite a lot, but it's still within a reasonable kind of bracket. But this is where it gets interesting. As you can see here, guys, you can see all the little issues that this car's had at its last MOT. And so the near side front lower suspension arm, that's a bush that's worn, that's wear and tear, I wouldn't mind that. Some offside front lower suspension arm pin bush worn, I wouldn't mind that. Those are the things that you can replace, but like I said, that's just general wear and tear. However, if you look at the second one, it says in excessive movement. I would be a little bit worried about that. All of these little points tells me that this car has been driven quite a lot. But yeah, always double check, guys, your past MOTs, and that gives you a clue into just a little bit of insight into the history of the car. Always check if it says additional information. It's always good to have a bit of additional information. And a lot of these, I've realized a lot of cars on Copart will say undercarriage damage. Now when it says undercarriage damage, it could be a host of different things, but often they will show if it's more kind of like serious undercarriage damage. A lot of the times it's just the plastics underneath the car has been damaged or broken. So if you can't see anything that's looking a bit crazy in the pictures, then I wouldn't be too worried about undercarriage damage. So this has got 19 hours to go. This is going to finish tomorrow, and I still reckon that this car will go for about 2 to 2.5 grand. With the fees, you're looking at about 3 grand. Anything under 3 grand with a pre-accident value of 7 grand, you know, that's going to give you a good return on that. That brings us on to the next tip, and I've got my favorite cat here, Ernie, to tell you. Come up with a decision on what you want to pay and stick to it. It's so easy, guys, to lose money on Copart by getting caught up in the bidding, getting caught up in the rush. Oh, I've been watching this car for so long, I really like it, I'll just bid and see. And you keep going, you keep going, keep going, because someone else wants it just as bad as you. And then you win the car, you get the fees, it goes onto your account, and then you think, why did I keep bidding? Why did I do that? One of the top tips, guys, look at your car, research your car, check your budget, come up with a maximum bid that you want to spend, and stick to it. And stick to it. You can't go wrong when you do that. So that's another quick tip. Moving on. Here's another car, guys. Now, this is another one. Once again, I did my research from like a week ago. I saw this car. I felt this was a lovely bit of damage, because I'm looking for damaged cars. So this is the best type of damage. Applying what I've said in this video, guys. If you look at this one, it's got the front bumper is a wreck, but I know that I can remove the front bumper. Let me make that a bit bigger for you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws, and around the other side, and I know that wrecked bumper comes off, and I can replace it with a used one for cheap, 100 quid. Once again, I look here and I can see they've got plastic wing panels, guys. So I can tell that wing panel, it wouldn't take a lot to break the plastic. So because it's a category in, I know that there's no structural damage to the underside of these panels. So I can take this panel off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws, guys. 7 screws. That's off. Slap a new one on there, and then it's just the headlight. Just like the Audi that I showed you before. 3 panels off, new panels on. Now, if you zoom in here, and people tend to not look properly, you'll see that the door is completely caked up right there. Someone's made a mess of that. So I have to factor in the cost of a new door as well. But to replace a new door, once you have the know-how, it's pretty easy, and it's a pretty cheap fix. Look at that, guys. It's a convertible. I know that we've come to the end of summer, but it's a hard top, so it will still do you good in the winter. And this might be, guys, you might see this on the channel. If I get a good price on this tomorrow, you might see this on the channel, guys. So these are the easy tips, guys, you can follow, and you can make a killing, or you can get yourself a lovely car. Let's continue. So just look at the cues, look at the pictures that Copart have sent. One picture, the roof is down. Another picture, the roof is up. Looking at these little things, I know that the roof works. So that's a tick. Once again, the interior looks great, no airbag damage. So I know that the impact wasn't that big, and I know that I don't need to worry about repairing the airbags and the interior seats, etc. You keep going down. Just have a look around, guys. Look around the engine bay. Does anything look amiss? Does anything look kind of out of pocket? And when I say out of pocket or amiss, you'd find that a lot of these cars, you don't know what the previous owner has done with it, and you might see some of these airboxes move that's missing. You might see the engine. I actually bought a car once and I didn't check, and the engine oil cover was missing, and yeah, when I came, the engine was completely totaled. So there's little things that you need to double check. Next thing to bear in mind is you will have to pay fees on all your cars. A lot of people, they forget that Copart add a huge amount of the fees after the winning bid. So let's check out fees. Let's talk fees. So if you go to the help section or the support section on Copart, you get to the section about UK fees and payments. It might be different in other countries, but in here in the UK, you have to pay 60 quid to register for a full membership, which for the amount of money you're going to start making, or the amount of savings you're going to make on the cars that you buy, 60 quid is nothing. But what we want to talk about, or what we want to focus on today, is membership fees, or member fees, which is added to the sale price. So have a look here. Once you win the car quite cheap, it's pretty reasonable. But the higher the winning bid of the car, the more fees they make. And that's the name of the game, guys. Copart UK and Copart over the world, they do not actually own these cars, guys. I don't know how many of you know this, but Copart don't actually own the stock that they sell. This is why they're so successful at what they do. They provide a selling platform for all the UK companies and UK insurance companies. And in the world, basically, it's such an easy deal for the insurance companies in this matter. The insurance companies, they own the cars because after they've written it off, they pay the owner of the car off. It now belongs to them. They hand the car over to Copart to facilitate the sale of the car. So if you win a car for 10 grand, 10 grand goes back to the insurance company because that's their car. But then Copart will then charge a commission fee on top, which is then recovered from the seller. So the insurance company is getting out, Copart is being the middleman, is getting a cut, and you're getting a car which is normally half of the price of what it's normally going for. So everyone wins along the way, guys. So bear that in mind. You've made it to the end. You've bought your car, you've paid for your car, you've calculated your fees, and you've done everything that I've told you in this video. Now it's time to get your car delivered. I arrange my own delivery. You can call around for your local area. Just Google a recovery driver. Try to find your own delivery driver. In the beginning, I let Copart deliver a few of my cars, and let's just say their prices are a little bit elaborate, for lack of a better word. So yeah, their prices are a little bit different to what you'd find from using someone local. I get all of my cars delivered from a local guy here in London. His name is Jay. You've seen him in my last video, and you'll see him in a lot of my future videos because he does all of my deliveries. You can at him at JA Transportation on Instagram, and I'm sure he'll do you a good quote. You know, he puts in the work, he covers the entire country, so I'm sure he'll be able to help you guys out. But yeah, guys, we're gonna end it there, and if this video has helped you in any way, give me a thumbs up, let me know in the comments. If I've forgotten anything, or if I've missed anything, or you don't agree with anything that I've said, I'm open. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you've enjoyed this content, guys, also let me know in the comments below, and smash that subscribe button, and make sure that your bell notifications are on so you don't miss my future content. You don't want to miss the next video because we're back to work on the Batmobile. Oh, that car is such a lovely car. It's gonna be epic. We're gonna be tearing it all down. We're gonna be getting stuck in. But that's another video for another day. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out.